The Grumpy Woman and the Daisy. On the tallest hill in town lived a grumpy old woman named Molly. Her house was messy, and her garden was full of weeds. No one ever even saw her smile. From her window, Molly could see the whole town, but she never paid it any mind. She just grumbled at the crowds and sighed at the sun. One sunny morning, a little boy named Leo was walking by. He was humming a happy tune and skipping along the sidewalk. He saw a single, beautiful daisy growing by the side of the road. It was the prettiest flower he had ever seen, with a bright yellow center and perfect white petals. Leo thought of the grumpy old woman on the hill. Maybe, he thought, this flower could make her happy. So he carefully picked the daisy and walked all the way up the hill to Molly's front door. Knock, knock, knock. The door creaked open just a tiny bit. A pair of eyes peered out. What do you want? A voice grumbled. Leo held out the daisy. Uh, this is for you, he said softly. Molly looked at the little flower. It was so bright and perfect. She took it from his hand without saying a word. Leo smiled and skipped back down the hill. Molly put the daisy in a small glass of water on her dusty windowsill. As she looked at the flower, she saw a single weed in her garden right outside the window. One little flower had made her see all the mess, and she went outside and began to pull the weeds. Plop, plop, plop. She pulled every single weed, one by one. The weeds made a big, messy pile, and then she planted new seeds in the soft, dark soil. She watered them with a gentle hand. Grow, little seeds, she whispered. Grow and be beautiful. Next, she went inside to the kitchen. The sink was full of dirty dishes. Scrub, scrub, scrub. She washed every single plate, cup, and spoon until they sparkled like tiny stars. She found a big pile of dirty pots and pans. Clatter, clatter, clatter. She scrubbed them with a brush until they were so clean they almost sang. The kitchen counter was now clean and tidy. She found a big bucket and filled it with warm, soapy water. Plink, plink, plink. The bubbles floated to the top like tiny, happy ghosts. She dipped a mop into the bucket and began to scrub the floor. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The kitchen floor went from dull and dusty to shiny and bright. She swept the dust into a big, fluffy pile. Whoosh! It looked like a tiny mountain of gray. She moved to the living room. She picked up a broom and began to sweep. Swish, swish, swish. Dust flew like a cloud. She was on a mission. She scooped up the dust and put it in the trash. She went upstairs to her bedroom. She pulled the blankets tight with a snap. She fluffed the pillows with a fluff. Her bed was now a perfect, cozy cloud. She folded her clothes into neat little piles. Each shirt, each sock, each pair of pants found its perfect place. The room looked so tidy and peaceful. She even washed her face with cool water and brushed her hair until it was shiny. The sun shone on a new house and a new Motley. She was no longer grumpy. She had a small, secret smile on her face. She sat on her front porch waiting. She had a feeling that a certain little boy would be coming by soon. Soon she saw Leo walking by with his friends. "Hello, children," she called out. "Would you like to come and play in my garden?" The children cheered and ran up the hill. And from that day on, the house on the hill was the happiest place in town, all because a little boy was kind to someone who was not kind to him. And that one act of kindness made the whole world a little bit brighter. The end.